What's up, guys? We are back for another week. Now, you probably noticed that we were gone 1 week.
Yes.
And that's because Kev was in Paris.
Gallivanting around France, Paris, Venice.
Did you bring back a baguette at least, dude? I mean, come on.
It's in the car. I'll have to go find it and see. But
and you're actually leaving again. Like,
I'm leaving again, so this is an early morning edition
time
of
is
this.
it, dude?
I know.
It's not
7 a.m. in the morning is when we're doing this. I got to be on a plane to Chicago. Fortunately, we got a chance. We got a chance to do, as you can tell by the bags under our eyes.
Yeah, and the excessive amounts of coffee.
Yes, but we still, you know what? It was a priority to do a show. I missed you guys. We both missed you guys. We had to do a show. A lot happened in the house.
Tons.
We're going to get into our best and worst moments, our Lawyer Up segment, and then all the good stuff that you want to hear, the stock tips as well. But briefly, I guess, since we've seen our friends here last time.
There's been so much that happened.
There were 18 double evictions since we saw these people last time. They've actually got rid of a whole crop of cast members, brought a new one in, and then brought them back.
A whole new Big Brother, and they've actually put them back in the house.
Yes, but since we saw you guys last time, Steve won the HOH as part of the starting lineup competition. Ended up beating John out. He was targeting the Oz twins, who seemed to be the ones he was really going after. You weren't really sure which way he was going to go on that, and who he was going to really nominate.
And it's really interesting because Austin ends up winning the veto.
Yep.
And then he essentially just doesn't use it at all.
Yes.
And so then we have Julia and Liz on the block.
Yes.
Now, talk about a tough decision. I mean, your girlfriend and your girlfriend's sister.
Yeah. And she didn't make it easy for him either. She's like, Austin, I'm dumping you. And they did a little Judas role play and everything. It seemed like that they were over all of America on pins and needles, wondering if Austin and Liz
everyone was like,
make it through this.
Oh my God, my favorite showman's of Big Brother.
Exactly. And thinking maybe they were going to leave, or that Liz might leave Austin for Jesse, Mr. Spectacular. Oh my God, that kid's ridiculous. But yes, I guess he made it was like the Clay decision or the Judas decision.
Right.
He decided to use it on himself, leaving the twins up on the block.
Right.
And bye-bye twin twist.
Would that be the Judas decision then? Because I guess if he replaced it himself, that'd be the Clay decision, right? The self-sacrifice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That is true. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows which decision he made?
Whatever. Whatever it is.
And Julia was gone. She was evicted. She said Austin and Liz might be a legit couple, which I was kind of surprised to see.
Yeah. And if asked if they would make it to Christmas, definitely. But if they would get married, it was like whoa.
I know. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Julie,
pump the brakes, Julie.
Julie, you're getting a little ahead of yourself here.
I know.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, and then we had a brand new HOH comp. We had the egg comp, whatever you want to call that, the lucky egg.
Of which is true, and Austin actually made this announcement. He's like, "Oh, this is riveting for the audience." It's one of those comps that it would probably be really stressful to play, but to watch, I mean, it's like,
I know, exactly, yeah. Wait, see, yeah,
exactly.
gripping 20 minutes of television right there.
Good thing that we have an announcer who knows how to play, really push the agenda there.
Yeah, and it's these comps like you can tell after the fact, CBS talks to the contestants, listen, tell everyone at home how hard this was. Tell everyone at home how challenging this was.
It was my arm hurt. My finger was absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
The egg had to work out in itself.
My shoulder was aching after it was done.
Yeah,
but,
my neck had to look up over the rainbow.
Yeah. Austin was up. It looked like he might take it, but Vanessa comes back, wins the HOH, and then we had Liz winning the luxury competition.
Yes. So, okay, all right. It kind of made sense for her to do this, right? She knew she was basically losing. She was like, "Look, I'm losing. I'm not winning. You have 3 other people who are really competing for this." And she goes ahead and puts the egg in the luxury comp, which is a super wise move in a gameplay strategy. Because you got to think about it like this, right? Whoever wins the HOH is most likely going to end up being a pair. Well, I guess she didn't really know. She didn't know that she was going to have this pairing, this
It's
option.
a smart ace up her sleeve, though.
Right.
She's got this bargaining chip. She's got this opportunity. So it was definitely a smart.
Because now
move.
you have a cruise, or you could use it some way or another. You could say oh hey, I have a free trip to Paris. And I'm definitely going to bring you. Thanks, Kev, for not bringing me to Paris, bro. I just thought about that right then and there, man. You're evicted. You know what?
All of a sudden, I saw where you were going with that. I'm going to get in trouble here.
Evicted.
Yeah. But, if it was an Ariana Grande concert, Nick, of course, both of us, I would have brought you to that as well.
It would have been awesome.
But I was thinking she was going to bring Austin, potentially, because, I don't know, she's a decent game player.
And then Austin did this.
And then Austin, I know, pointed to her. And then, but, I loved Frankie's tease of, I've got these these high end hairstylists and like makeup artists, and like I'm thinking watching that like. These girls are going to look totally different. They're going to put like a prosthetic nose and everything. They just put a wig on them both. Is all they did with these like Hollywood makeup artists. Like I'm thinking, they're going to transform their face and they're going to be like
bring Dr. Will in, and do like plastic surgery on everything.
Or it's going to be like Eddie Murphy, Nutty Professor style, where now they're like 300 pounds,
like Hispanic women.
And they were like,
let
me see what I'm going to. You know what? I'm just going to put a wig on you. That's all I'm going to really do.
Done. And they're like, lots of makeup on your eye. Like,
extra lipstick
and a tattoo. Wig. And a tattoo. That would throw everybody.
Yeah.
I would have to say, though, I thought Liz actually looked really good as a brunette.
Hot. She looked really hot.
Like, really good.
Was it a brunette or was it like... It was like a strawberry blonde or a little bit red. I don't know. Whatever it was. But no, she looked really hot. And then we had Vanessa with just longer hair and darker and glasses.
And sunglasses. I was like... isn't that just Vanessa?
Yeah.
Like,
and the girls
she's
are
wearing
like,
sunglasses.
Yeah, they're like, I don't even recognize you. It's like, come on, they're really playing that up.
It's a purple wig.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, and they were worried, I guess, about being recognized, but then they walked through the tunnel.
Right,
we didn't see anyone else.
From a limo to a tunnel to a private suite.
To a private suite with wigs on.
And it was dark and the concert's playing. It's like, and first of all, if someone did notice them, what are the repercussions? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the house is so small now that everybody knows what's going on. There's no, like, big secrets. It's like, Vanessa, did you know that you're doing a really good job? Yeah.
Well.
I knew that.
And, I don't know. Frankie's the loudest guy in the room anyway, and if nobody notices Frankie, and if nobody comes up to Frankie, how are they going to notice, Vanessa and Liz there?
Easy peasy.
They're jamming out to the concert. They all come back, and sure enough, she has to do her nominations, and she ends up nominating Steve and Johnny Mac up on the block. Kind of a surprise. You didn't know which way she was going. She was in a huge information gathering. It was like the Inquisition.
Oh my gosh.
The entire episode.
It was like so painful to watch though, dude. Like, because it was so, you could see the gears turning, but I think Johnny Mac explained it the best. He said that I hope her gears spin so fast that they jam and that her head explodes. And like, that pretty much is like what was happening. Like, like as a viewer, it was like painful to watch. You'd be like, well, what do you mean by yes? Is that like a yes or like a yes, no, yes? Yes, no, or yes? I can't even deal with this right now. I think you're lying. And you're like, everyone's like,
pretty good version. I know. Just so confused, and like the viewer, I was in my place getting like a flowchart up and with names and trying to like connect the
putting
dots.
Putting like the Y, like this piece of string.
It was like a scene from I don't know, like True Detective or whatever.
110%.
With like pins in the wall and yarn and people's faces and names and.
So if you do mean yes by what I will call dog, and dog does not like cat, then by default you are the dog chasing the cat. Liar.
Exactly.
Like,
so,
it got weird.
At the end of all of that, like we said, Steve and Johnny Mac on the block. Seems like they're the target this week, but we still got the veto to go, so we'll have to see what happens.
We will find out. We will see.
It is time for some of the best and worst moments here this past week on Big Brother. The first, I'm going to give a best moment nod to Vanessa, and she is a candidate every week for best moment nods. Yeah. How did she get Julia to choose Austin for the spinning bowling comp? That's one of the best moves of the summer. She potentially could have gone home here this week had she not done that.
I agree with
that. Was such a crucial move because
it was done something like this. Hey, Julia, you should trust me on this and go ahead and put Austin up now.
I choose Austin.
Done.
That's how it was, But, I mean, she was really vulnerable. There are not very many people. If they had thrown it to Julia, then the Oz twins would have controlled the vote and been safe. It probably would have meant Vanessa was going home.
Yep.
That move right there might have saved her game over the summer, and she's played the best game, I think, so might have saved her. That could potentially be a $500,000 move. Got to be one of the best moves here this past week.
I would have to agree with you. And it was only a worse move for Julia, Liz, and Austin.
Yeah.
And then another best move here is Austin. Okay, so it's a really tough decision. We're kind of backtracking here. So Julia and Liz are on the block, right? And Julia and Liz are not going to say out loud who they want to go home. They want each other basically to stay. And so Liz and Austin are having this conversation out loud about who should stay and who shouldn't. And it's suggestive that Julia go home.
Puts pressure on Julia to kind of agree with
it. Does.
This.
It's the first time that, like, at least the viewer sees that, here's why this makes sense. Because up until then, it was all this, like, cry fest. It was just like, I love you, and you should stay because I love you, and then vice versa. And it was just like...
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's a pretty interesting point.
Two mirrors
that it almost allows Julia to feel like it was her decision to evict herself versus Austin and Liz bringing this conversation up out loud. She has to kind of agree, and they're like, well, if you think this is best, then that's fine. And she's like, yes, this is my decision. Interesting point.
Exactly.
By you. I hadn't thought about that.
See, and that's the way I did it right here.
I like that.
See, I suggested, and then you think it's your own idea.
Whoa!
And now it's truly a best move. See?
Yeah. Well, I think you're somehow probably influencing this next comment by me. This is a worst move.
Okay.
Here, and I'm going to throw this out. See if you agree with this.
Sure.
I think it was a worst move, and I would say by Vanessa, but maybe by that, by the house potentially, to keep Liz and evict Julia. I know that was the decision that that the twins kind of made.
See, it did work because I agree with you.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm convincing you now. But, I don't know. It's hard for Vanessa now because she's in the spot where she's got two sides. She's got the Steve, Johnny Mac. She's got the Austin and Liz, two very strong. She almost has to evict one person and then join that side of the house. But had she convinced somehow Steve and Johnny Mac to evict Liz, and then she could have been on board with that. She could have joined the Austin side, and she probably would have been Austin's number 2. Julia's the 3 in that pecking order.
Yeah.
But keeping Liz in the house is keeping a dangerous player. That they got rid of a floater. It could have been this year's. Who was
Victoria?
Yeah,
it would have been much better for Vanessa to be paired with Austin, but now by default she has to be paired with Johnny Mac because she's already worked with Johnny Mac once, and so. But it's actually. It's not as good as being... The bond between Liz and Austin is much stronger than any of the other bonds in there. So if you were to rank them like how you rank bonds, like a triple bond, second bond, like how you do in like physics, or not physics, but chemistry, that would have been the best for her. But I think in the position she was in, she's like, nah, I'd rather get less blood on my hands.
She just loves saying that, I think, is basically what it is. She wanted another opportunity to say blood on her hands.
So I'm going to come in here with another worst.
Okay?
This was we're going to backtrack. This was the deal condition that Austin and Liz must follow through if
that was the whole second half of the episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was yeah, exactly. I wrote them down here, so I'm going to go ahead and read them out really quick. Okay, this is all right, and it came in part 1, 2, and 3. All right, like a lawyer contract, of which, by the way, Vanessa is not a lawyer. She went to law school, but she did not graduate. Super smart, graduated blew through Duke, got into law degree, but never went through with it. And I think this shows. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read this. Part 1. I must be front-doored if HOH, and I get a deal for Final Four. Part 2. She gets to call who stays, even if they are HOH. Part 3. If in Final 3, you must take her. So between Liz and Austin, they have to take Vanessa. That's like saying...
And that's the third part of this deal. There were 2 things before this.
That's basically like saying, you must let me win the game, or else no deal.
That's the deal.
No deal.
And then she's going to be shocked that they broke the deal when she asked for firstborn.
I don't even know why this was even like... Why did this even come up? I mean, this is such a non-deal.
She's been a great player this summer, but that was one of the craziest deals.
Don't get into mergers and acquisitions. That's all I'm saying. You're a great poker player. You're an awesome Big Brother player.
Yeah.
Charming as hell, but just do not get into the contract game, okay? Just don't.
Those were some of our best and worst moments here this past week.
As your Big Brother financial advisors, we're going to give you some tips on stocks to buy and stocks to sell. Not real stocks, but stocks within the players. Okay, so first up, this is your buy. This is a stock that's going up. That is Liz and Austin as together. Like 2 companies together. They're on the rise.
It's a merger.
It's a merger, if you will. Yes, because on the other side of the house, we have Johnny Mac and Steve, of which one of them is getting evicted. That's a company that is going to be weakened by the next, eviction. And then you have Vanessa, who's not really a wild card, but she's not a part of this hardcore alliance. Yeah. Liz and Austin this week, by default, stock is going up.
And
invest.
Shocker, it's now coming down to who Vanessa is targeting. She's kind of been the person in control the entire summer, 100%. But she's targeting Steve and Johnny Mac, which means their stock is going down. There's only so many people here left in the game, but their stock is going down. It seems like they're going to lose one of them.
Yep.
And the Austin stock is going up right there. So buy some Austin, buy some Liz, sell some Johnny Mac and Steve.
Because Johnny Mac and Steve are basically like an Apple Watch and a laptop you have to have one for the other.
Yeah, Apple, if you want to sponsor us, by the way, this is beautiful.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Oh, and this is being filmed on a Mac.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. There's some BB stock tips there. The Big Brother contestants do a terrible job of keeping themselves safe and making compelling arguments for them to stay in the house. So it is up to Nick and I, your Big Brother lawyers, to lawyer up and save these contestants. Let's lawyer up here.
And of which we are not real lawyers like Vanessa is much longer along the path to become a real lawyer.
People see us on this, on this show every week, lawyering up here, and we've gotten plenty of offers to actually represent people in real courtrooms doing real cases based on the work that we've done here. So we should make that disclaimer. We're not real lawyers. I know we fool people very well because we've already got offers. Maybe we should be. But we have Steve and we've got Johnny Mac on the block. We must each try to save one of them. Nick, who would you like to represent?
I'm going to go ahead and represent Johnny Mac.
Big surprise there, which means I am representing young Steven.
In my opening statement, Johnny Mac was an individual who was already evicted from the house. He has this one chance to come back in and prove his self-worth, and he has. And again, you want to take somebody all the way to the end that you can trust, because you want to make sure that in the final 3, they don't dupe you, because at least number 2 gets 50 grand.
Steve is the easiest of the final contestants to, one of the easiest to actually manipulate, I think. You can be able to guide Steve. You can choose him. You can have a final 2 deal with him, or even a final 3, and you can influence Steve. Steve is very susceptible, cries a lot. He loves his mommy. Great qualities, but he doesn't seem like he has the backbone to stand up. So I'm saying keep Steve in the house, and he can be part of your alliance. You can work with him. You can guide him to do your bidding. Whereas in Johnny Mac, he is a man that has his own mind, his own will. It's hard to influence him. You don't really know where he stands. You must get rid of a player like that. A player like Steve, you can...
Objection! That is exactly why you want to keep Johnny Mac, because you need a powerful force for you and yourself to go up against Liz in Austin.
But I don't know that you can win in the final 2 with Johnny Mac. He's very popular, great social game. Steve's a little bit socially awkward. Now, he's won more comps, but I think the jury overall likes Johnny Mac a little bit more.
Objection. Let's not downplay the sympathy card, okay? Because everybody knows he's a super fan, and people like Steve. He's nice. He's cool.
They like him. I don't know if they think he is a winner. So keep Steve safe. Vote to evict Johnny Mac. And it will make Nick Uhas cry if Johnny Mac leaves the house. And I wanted to see that the entire summer. See a video of him crying. You do too. Evict Johnny Mac.
In my final statement, I will say, keep Johnny Mac. You really don't want to see me cry. I'm an ugly crier. It's a true story. True story.
We'll see what happens. Steve, good luck.
Good luck.
Hang in there, buddy.
Good luck, Johnny Mac. Can you do that in the court of law? I don't know.
There we go. There's our lawyer up segment.
Okay, so this is the part of the show where we tell you all about what we think is going to happen this week. But before we do that, Kev, where can we find you?
At KevSoup on Twitter and KevSoup.com on the internet.
Awesome.
Websiting systems.
Fantastico.com. You can find me at Nick Uhas on Twitter. And, okay, so what's going to happen this week? What do you think?
I mean, I would guess probably Johnny Mac is going to end up going home. It seems like right now that's Vanessa's target. We never know with Vito, but I do think that she's chosen the Austin Liz side of the house. I think you'll see either Johnny Mac or Steve go home. Right now, I would say it's probably going to be Johnny Mac.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Steve is going to go home.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I think that Vanessa has already established a relationship with Johnny Mac, and so at this point, she knows she can't break up Liz and Austin, so she might as well fill the role of the power suck, and it would make sense. She's already worked with Steve, or she's already worked with Johnny Mac, not Steve.
We'll see what happens, and we've got finale next week.
Yes,
show's going to be done. We're going to have some more content for you guys. We're very excited about the finale. We've got some stuff brewing, hopefully.
That we do.
So we got some fun stuff happening next week for the finale of Big Brother here this season. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. We'll have more next week on the finale.
And we're going to do something fun next week. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but
I like secrets.
It's going to be great. See you next week,
See you
guys.
next week.
If you like this video, click here to subscribe. New videos every week.